Hello, and welcome to the We Get to Do This podcast. My name is Kaylee.
And I'm Jacob.
And we are your co-hosts.
In this show, we're going to dive into all things our lives, from our partnership to romance to entrepreneurship to growing our businesses together, our fitness journeys, and we're going to have a ton of different guests on that relate to what I just said in some way. We're hoping you enjoy the show, and if you do,
please feel free to follow us, leave us a 5-star review on wherever you listen to your podcasts, and enjoy.
And if you don't like the show, tough. Thank you.
Thanks. Why'd you stop?
Some gifts are meant just for us, babe. My singing being one of them.
I wanted the people to hear.
Just kidding. I'm sure that most people have heard me sing before.
It's true.
Welcome back to another episode of the We Get to Do This podcast. I had a message come in that I thought would be a good episode for us to talk about. So we're going to jump right in. What do you think of that? Nice.
I think it sounds great.
Nice and sweet. So the question is simple. Someone was asking me about, I've been talking to someone about starting a business, entrepreneurship and whatnot. This is going to get into the sales side of things. So although it'll be applicable to run coaching, acupuncture, from our standpoint, this is also any sales. So someone messaged me and said, I'm curious how you went about getting clients. That's our question today. How do you get clients? 101. Now, this is assuming we have clients.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't.
So let's start.
Newsflash. Do you have any ideas, audience?
Let's start there. Or that we're like full and are offloading clients. I think that you and I are both very blessed and grateful for where we are at, but we're both also very much actively working on getting more clients pretty much always. So keep that in mind as we talk about these things, but I think we're going to give a lot of information on what we're doing right now that and some of that work and whatnot. But if other people are listening and they're like, this has worked for me, I would love to hear it. If you're in sales or anything where you try to get people to buy into what you're selling, right? So
feel free to comment on the episode with some ideas too.
Yeah. And, for us, we have a lot of different services that we offer, but they all kind of under the same thing, right? Like I do personal training, gait analysis, classes, and run coaching. I think that has helped me a lot. I know that you also do, obviously you do acupuncture, but you're doing cupping, you're doing dry needling, you are doing. You do bone water, element, things like that. So you're doing a few different things. And I do feel like on the one hand, diversifying gives us the opportunity then to like cross-market things and even each other, right? We can cross-market with each other, and you could also argue though that like getting specific may be the route to go for some people. I think it just depends on who you are and what you're doing. Right now, where I'm at, it helps me help more people and diversify also what I'm doing mentally. So I think that's one thing to, kind of first understand with Kaylee and I specifically. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs are like that.
But even with diversifying, like remembering that you don't need to have a million different offers. Especially when you're starting out. Like I've heard a lot, like have kind of like your signature thing. And because the more options that you have, the more confused people get. Because you might know what your offerings are, but that doesn't mean that everyone else who's like just, glancing at your website, like if they're glancing at your website or your scheduling link, like it needs to be very clear, like what are you offering people and what should they sign up for? Because if they're confused, they're going to move on to the next person very quickly, because that is the society we live in and we have very split second brains right now.
Or it makes us confused. I feel like I'm actively always trying to make my services simpler.
Yeah.
Right. But I had it described as a ladder once. So you want something that can kind of get, it's a sales funnel. This is like sales kind of 101, right? You want something that's going to get someone into the funnel. And then typically there's one service that you want to sell the most of, whatever your highest revenue service is. So I follow those things a little bit. Like for me, my kind of gateways to me are gait analysis and strength classes to like try to get people to do personal training with me or run coaching. Um, because that's kind of, I would say, where most of my revenue is made. So, think about that type of thing as well. I know Kaylee, I don't know if you have thought about that. I mean, obviously acupuncture is your most, right?
Yep.
That's what drives the revenue the most. Do you
Yeah.
have like intro rings, as you will, to get into acupuncture, or that's what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, with me, I don't have like that like gait analysis or like I mean, I feel like group classes are kind of like a smaller ticket item, is and they don't cost as much as like spending, $200 a month on run coaching, for example, or personal training. Um, but I feel like this kind of just gets into like how I get people in the first place, which is direct referrals from people and word of mouth.
Yeah.
But yeah, my like signature thing is your initial acupuncture session and intake.
Yeah. Yeah. But that leads us in. How then do you get clients? How do you get clients, Kayla? What's helped you the most?
Definitely word of mouth is my biggest stream of revenue or like way that I get patients. And word of mouth means so many things because I work within Performance Running Gym in St. Louis Park. And just by me being there and interacting and talking to different runners and athletes all day, every day, that's probably been my greatest source of where I get people from. And word of mouth from like, everyone talks about like having kind of like a partner or like somebody that you can collaborate with. And I feel like we're each other's probably biggest collaborators with like referring people to each other. Um, because people, especially like in the acupuncture world, a lot of people come in and are nervous about needles. They don't know how it's going to help them, especially runners. Like, I mean, even 2 years ago when I started, I feel like it's already progressed so much with people knowing like how I can help. And if they're hearing it from a trusted source, as in a trainer, a friend, a doctor, a family member, they already have kind of gotten that buy-in to what I can provide. And so, I mean, really until like the last like year and a half plus, I was pretty much only getting people based off of word of mouth. And just in the last couple of months, I would say, I've started to get more people from online and from other sources. And for me, that's been a lot from like Google with just web searches. So it is extremely important to have a website and to have a Google listing, a Google business listing, and to get your reviews up. That's something Jacob excels in that and has like a ton. But it's something that, like, again, people want to see those personal testimonials and they want to see that you're a credible person before they go and spend their money and time. Like, nobody wants to just like go, like, if I see somebody that has 0 reviews, I don't know anybody that's gone to see them, their website's confusing. Like, at least for me personally, like, that's not going to be that practitioner that I choose because I don't have, like, I don't want to be wasting my time and money for that. And I mean, other people might be different, but like, I want to hear from somebody or like see like a real human that's gone to see them. So building up your reviews to build credibility, but then that also increases what's called your SEO or your search engine optimization, meaning that you will be put to the more of the top of the list if somebody is searching for you. So then if somebody's searching for acupuncture near me or acupuncture St. Louis Park, then I will go more to the top of the list based on the reviews that I have and based on my website and how many times I use certain words like acupuncture on my website. Um, so that's definitely started increasing as well, the more I've built that up. Um, and then my third one I've been getting more from is even just social media. And a lot of people ask us, you know, is social media worth it? Like a lot of people hate social media and don't want anything to do with it in the business world, and that's fine. And I know a lot of people are very successful not using it, but it's definitely helped us. And again, like I love following people that I like, professionals that I go to see on social media and being able to see a day in their life. And are they actually like walking the talk? Like, I want to know that the person I'm seeing like actually does what they're telling me to do too. And I love sharing health tips and what we're eating and how we're working out. And I feel like that just makes you so much more relatable to the person. And I've had plenty of people that, have been following me for a couple years and then finally make the decision to come and see me. And it's okay to like be more specific on social media too. I've realized, because at the beginning I was extremely general because I was like, I want to help everyone and I want anyone to like feel left out. But as soon as I started putting like, I can help, with shin splints or I can help with your back problems, then people are like, oh, like you can actually help me with this. And I think that goes for any business too. I mean, I know you're going to talk about yourself specifically too, but like, why should people come see you out of everyone else? Like, what makes Kaylee different than everyone else out there? What makes Jacob different? And I think it's okay to like find that thing that makes you stand out. And for me, it's been running and trails. And I try to and feel like I'm just like the holistic practitioner that eats healthy but isn't restrictive. And I like to get enough sleep every night. And I like to hang out with my friends and family. And I get acupuncture, I get massage and chiropractic, and I refer out because I'm seeing other people too. And that's where the social media side comes in. Because, especially because there's only so many things I can convey during a treatment. So not only does it help me get new people in, but it also helps me to connect with my current patients. Those are my big three. And I'll talk about what hasn't worked if you want to share yours.
Yeah, I think number one is understanding that it takes time, and it's probably going to take you more than a year to get clients, if not three, four. I mean, it's taken me. I've been in business now for over 4 years, almost 4.5 years, and it took probably until 3.5 to be able to sustain myself financially. So, you know, I think that's the other thing people need to understand is it will take time. So if you think it's going to be only a year, maybe you might be in that small percentage, but it's going to take time. Word of mouth, I think, is going to be your biggest thing, and you kind of already touched on this, but you need to build a brand, whatever it is that you're selling, even if you're not a brand, like you are your brand. So like you need to build that up. Like you're saying, you can do that through Google, you can do that through social media, you can do that through blogs, you can do that newsletters, you can do whatever it is, but you need to like build a brand and you need to make sure that not even, yes, you need to be known, and I'll come back to that, but like if someone goes and looks you up, is there something to look up? That's like one of that's one of the easiest things I feel like people miss. Like if I'm trying to work with a new run coach or something and I'm searching Bob Smith or whatever, like, and I look up Bob Smith and I can't find them anywhere, like, all right, well, now I'm moving on, right? Or if, like you said, I know run coaches that aren't using Strava, which, yeah, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But like for me, I know, and you, it's helped. Like people can see that we're doing the thing, right? So, things like that, building that brand, and being relatable. And you kind of touched on that already. So I think that, um, I don't need to dive super into that. But furthermore, on the word of mouth thing, I think your network is pretty, like anything else, is network is your net worth, right? So connecting with PTs, chiros, acupuncturists, like anyone that can send you a referral, connect with them. I feel like we've been doing a lot of that, and a lot of our network does the same thing with us. Run store owners, things like that, and it's gonna be perfect, but try not to burn bridges. I've seen that happen a lot too. And like I have someone that was a mentor of mine that kind of burnt a bridge with myself and other people. And there's been like 3 clients that I would have liked to send them. And I'm not sending it to them because like them as a person, they burn, it doesn't really matter, but like things like that, you don't need to do that. And I'm sure I've burnt bridges too. I know I have that I've probably missed out on needs for because of, but, uh, and then in that network, like you said, ask for reviews, ask for referrals, things like that too. So, um,
With that, like a lot of people don't even know like that we need referrals or that we are actively
yeah,
looking for
that,
people.
yeah,
So never assume that people just know that they should be talking about you with other people. Like it's not relevant. Um, so like even in our new email newsletters, like we're always asking like word of mouth is huge for our small business. Like please talk about us. Or like even if I, finish treating somebody and, their injury is gone, like I'll try to remember to ask, like, make sure like if you know anybody else with, these shin splints or whatever it is, like would love, for your referral because that's how I grow. And I'll get a lot of people like, oh yeah, like I would love to like post about you on Instagram or I know this person. Like I just didn't even know that you were looking for people. So never assume anything, really.
yeah, and get real comfortable hearing no
Yes.
or getting ghosted. That happens all the time, all
Yes.
the time. I think we're getting better at it, but we're still humans and don't like it too, But I think that this past month, there's been so many people on Facebook that write on, which is another thing, Facebook groups that write like looking for a personal trainer or run coach or gait analyst, whatever. And I message them, give them something, to think about, whatever. And then I just don't hear from them. Follow up, nothing. That happens to me all the time. Even like asking people for reviews. If I ask people for reviews, nothing. Ask them again in person, nothing. Yeah, like you have to just kind of get comfortable with that, I think. So, and then let's see. So connect with literally everyone. I connect with like everyone I meet that, we're kind of always on, right? You just never like whether or not the person you meet at a cocktail party or whatever, graduation party, whatever it is, right? Is someone that would buy from you, they likely have someone in their network that would. So you have to kind of always be on. And I just connect, like, I'm constantly connecting with people on Facebook, Strava, Instagram, like, and there is like that, part like it feels kind of salesy, but like also in order to help more people, you need people to know about you. So I connect
Yeah.
with literally everyone. And, if you connect with 100 people and 99 have nothing to do with you, fine, but maybe one does, right? So it's a numbers game partly too. You have to just find the numbers.
And with the salesy thing too, like if you're really passionate about what you're
Yeah,
doing, like I always try to remind myself, and I talk to other acupuncturists about this too, like Kaylee, like what you're doing is changing lives. Like yes, you get money from doing it, but that's also my career now and how I make a living. And the reason for me doing it is because I want other people to feel better and I want them to experience acupuncture and Chinese medicine and to like know how it's going to benefit themselves. So if it does feel like super salesy to you, maybe you're not in the right field, but like,
maybe you're Jordan Belfort.
yeah, we just watched the
Ford.
Wolf of Wall Street. Crazy movie. So don't, he was very passionate about what he did.
It's true.
But there's a difference between scamming people financially like he did and like actually believing in what you do. And like I also tell people like, I'm not going around just being like, oh, I'm an acupuncturist, like you should come. But like there are so many ways to infuse what you do into a conversation without being salesy and being like, I'm an acupuncturist, come see me. I mean, I'm like blanking on an example right now, but like even when people, if we're at our run groups, like at a Mill City running group, and somebody tells me about, the back pain that they're having or something in their glutes, I'm like, oh, you should try acupuncture for that because it can really help. And it typically, I'll be around somebody or that person specifically will be like, aren't you like an acupuncturist? And then you can start kind of having that conversation without me being like, oh, you have this glute problem, you should come see me. And like I try to or Jacob could be like, you should try strength training for that because that's something that's helped me. Like it's something I've helped see. And that's kind of another way that you can get around it without being salesy. And, or if somebody asks, like, oh, do you know somebody for that? Then it can be like, so sorry, side note. When I was at the track workout last week, I had cupping marks on me, and somebody was like, who do you see for cupping? And so I literally am a walking billboard for my career. And so I said, who I go see at Crocus Hill Acupuncture. And I was like, yeah, and a lot of times I just cut myself because I'm actually an acupuncturist too. And I work over at PRG. And it wasn't me like reaching out to the person. Like they literally came to me, asked about my cupping marks, and then it turned into a conversation about what I do. And not that I've now seen this person as a patient, but now they know what I do, and it's in the back of their mind for either them or hopefully for a friend or another runner at some point. So there's so many ways to like infuse what you do without being like scammy about it.
Yeah, and make sure you understand what you do and you can become specific in the sense of like who you are and what your brand is, right? So, for example, I personally create safe spaces, community, and I stick out because I'm an athlete slash strength focused run trainer, coach, whatever. That's unique. There aren't a lot of people like that. Like I dive into those things. So people that are looking for those two things, you know, oftentimes may end up finding me, right? Or in a group chat on Facebook, which if you're not in group chats or you're not involved in like your local run group runs, things like that, which if it's your hobby, it's great because you'd be going to them anyways. But um, if you're not involved in those, get involved, meet people so that they know what your mission is, right? Even if they're not like a direct client of yours, they might still see something or hear someone else say something and then say, oh, you're looking for you're looking to become a more well-rounded athlete. I know a trainer that has a background in helping people with that. You should go talk to Jacob, right? That's happened so many times. Like 80% of the people I work with, I would say, and I work right now with like 40, I think. Like 80% of those people have come from, like, have been connected to me or someone I work with in some way. Like 20, maybe, I should do the numbers on this, but maybe 20%, it's probably less, have been like a completely cold lead from like a Google search, right? But it does happen, and that's why you got to build it up. But most people are either a referral or even like someone mentioned me like in a group page on Facebook, and then a client jumps in and also backs that, right? Those types of word of mouth things, and that just takes time.
And networking, even with people that do what you do. So, this is me
Yeah,
speaking from the acupuncture field. I feel like so many people are worried about competition and, oh, they're an acupuncturist, so therefore, like, I'm competing with them. And we remind ourselves all the time that, like, especially in the run community, there is enough for everyone to eat at the table. And like a lot of times those end up being referrals too. And since my specialty is not like in IVF or fertility stuff, like I definitely treat a lot of people with that. But there's times when I'm like, oh, my friend Hannah would be like a really good person for that. Or the location, if somebody's across the cities, I'll be like, oh, you should see this person. And in turn, like I get a lot of like runners and endurance athletes back from those people. So we can all help support each other. And that's all part of the networking too. And even just getting ideas from other people that are in your direct field of work, like that's where I've gotten a ton of like my marketing ideas and like business ideas from. So don't consider like the people who are in your exact field, like they're not always just the competition. Like there are plenty of people that need and want our help.
yeah, that's huge. We all offer different things. I have worked with numerous personal trainers myself. I have had a few different run coaches myself. You know, um I have referred to other run coaches. I've had other run coaches refer to me. Like, yeah, I think that that's a big thing too. I see people that end up failing or falling because of that for sure. So yeah, remember that too. And that's the scarcity mindset stuff that I
I was
think
gonna say you need an open mindset
is
for this if you want to succeed.
is important to remember. Yeah. Um, and do good work too, you know. And sometimes good work is referring out, but definitely do good work. And you will have times when you were right and maybe the client or customer was wrong. They're still right. So I think that's another thing to remember too, because the power of there's a stat, a like a bad review goes so much further than a good review. So you need to remember that too, and make sure to do your best to not leave sour taste in people's mouths. I'm not perfect with this either. I know for sure I've pissed off people in the community, that trainer, a run store, different things. So, um, you know, you'll learn from experience on things like that too. So just
We're all human.
try to just be a good person and have good ethics and morals, and I think that will,
And learn from each experience too. Like
yeah.
if you do get a bad review or something happens, like learn from that and acknowledge it and figure out how to change it for the next time.
Hmm. Hmm. Like that's
Yeah, I feel like word of mouth and time. I
Yes,
mean,
just don't give up. I mean, honestly, some of my clients have come from other people giving up. And what
yeah.
I mean by that is being in a setting longer and then a trainer or a coach stops and then their client is like, "Oh, well, it'd be kind of easier to just work with Jacob."
Yeah.
That's definitely happened.
Episode
Plenty of people that
36.
happened with.
Episode 36 that we recorded, how to not give up before things get good. Like we talked in depth about that too, about how you just have to stick it out and how at the beginning it's very hard and takes a lot of work and it can be discouraging when I mean I started out with, I was so excited when I had like two people on my schedule a week and it's just a lot of times it's slow growth.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Like I like to think about it as like getting a raise in like the 9 to 5 world, right? You don't just get a raise every month. Probably. Probably. When I worked in marketing, I didn't get a raise every month. You get like maybe a bonus every year and then maybe an annual raise, right? So it's like, I think that's another thing to remember too. You're not, we, I don't know, I feel like we expect more almost, but like right now, I'm like a steady 1 to 2 max clients gain a month, I would say,
Mhm.
if that, right? And then you lose a few or whatever, so you have to remember that too, of like it's a steady growth over time as well.
Yeah, and those are the businesses that we've wanted to create too. I, for example, don't take insurance in this practice. And if I had chosen to go the insurance route, if I really like, technically couldn't even be accepted into insurance right now because there's all these rules, but like I didn't want to start my business on that, even though it could have probably of brought me patients a lot faster. That's not the kind of practice that I want. So it's important to have like what is my vision and having that long-term vision and knowing it might take a little bit longer, but that when you do get there, that it will be worth it because you built your business the way that you wanted it to look. Do you pay for any like marketing? Have you done any? Because there's Google that you can, you know, see like the sponsored ads everywhere, like on Google, on Instagram. Like, how do you feel about those types of marketing things and like ways of getting clients?
So paid marketing, yeah, I don't. Depends on how you describe paid marketing because I've spent at this point probably $15,000 on merch, and I would argue that's paid marketing. I've sold some of it, but I've given a lot away. The documentary I did last year was a lot of money, so that's paid marketing out there. As far as like actual, Facebook, Instagram paid ads, I haven't found a lot of benefit in that actually compared to the stuff we just talked about. I know yeah, it can be very beneficial. I got locked out of my Facebook paid account, and Facebook pisses me off. So the meta like ads and things like that are it's irritated me how hard it is to get my account unlocked, and like there's no customer support line. That's what I'm more so saying. So provide good support. Um, so I don't really use those a whole lot, and I think most marketing books I've read and people I've talked to in the marketing world, and from what I've learned, have always been like maximize your organic reach first, which is your free stuff, word of mouth, everything we just talked about. Do that first. The ads I have ran, I have gotten zero clients from. I've probably spent only like 5,000 total in paid socials across the past 4 years. I've gotten not a single client from. So maybe I'm not doing it right though, but yeah, that's kind of a general consensus I get from other people though that I've talked to about this.
It might be different if we had like products that we were selling.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people buy from Instagram products, and that's just not the audience that we have,
Yeah.
or that we're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done one paid thing, and
Oh yeah.
I've gotten
You got
nothing
anything from that?
No.
Sad.
Last winter, I had somebody from LA Fitness reach out to me, and performance running gym where I work is like 2 blocks from the LA Fitness in St. Louis Park. And I was like, this is great. This is like my direct clientele because they live 2 blocks away. They're athletes. And I spent $2,500 on it. And I was like, if I get 2 people out of this, and, then those 2 people, if they refer one other person, I'm like, then it will pay for it. And yeah, zip, nada. Gotten a lot of clicks on the ads because it's both a phone and like on their TV screen ad. But yeah, I've gotten nothing. But with that too, I guess I did go for a quick tour of the place, but I would have more specific questions about like the contract that I signed. But yeah, it seemed like a cool opportunity, and I had never done any paid ads before at all like that. And I still have 6 months left of it, so who knows what will come out of it. But so far nothing. So back to square one with word of mouth and referrals. But I also think like it's okay. You need to take risks at the beginning too, and like it's okay to try different things, and not everything's gonna work out the first time. And I mean, if I tried this again in 5 years, it might be completely different. It's just this round, nothing stuck. And now I know. But I'm glad I at least tried it. And yeah, $2,500 sucks, but we're moving on. And it's a business expense and a write-off, so really the people pay for it. In case you haven't watched Schitt's Creek. It's a Schitt's Creek reference.
So that's how we've gotten clients so far. If you have any recommendations how we can get more clients, let us know. And if you are someone who's looking for an acupuncturist or run coach or trainer or gait analyst, please let us know, because we would love to talk to them and help them.
Network, and be patient. It's my biggest recommendation. And talk about yourself. It's okay to talk about yourself. What's your we get to do this moment?
My we get to do this moment. My little brother left for Japan today, and yesterday my like entire family went out to eat for lunch on Monday at like 12. And I was like, this is pretty privileged, unique, and cool that we can all meet at 12 on Monday and have lunch together. There's like 12 of us there. So that was really cool. And we get to do this moment. And I actually mentioned that to you yesterday. What's yours?
Yeah. I had a patient this week that it was her first acupuncture treatment ever. And at the end of the treatment, like I walked back in the room after, she got dressed and stuff after the needles were done, and like her face just like was so zen. And she was like, I haven't felt that relaxed in years. And I was having a bit of we've talked about imposter syndrome a lot, but I was having a big imposter syndrome day, and then walked in and heard that. And I was like, that's why I do what I do.
Don't give up.
Don't give up. You never know whose life you're changing. And even the small things are really big things to some people.
Thanks, everyone. We get to do this.
Thanks for listening.
Almost to 50.
Wow, Kaylee, we made it through another episode. What do you think?
We would love if you would go give us a follow, a 5-star review, and comment on the episode and what you liked and what you'd like to see more of.
See you next time.
We get to do this.